Hi everyone, my name is Meir Rosilio and I am the CEO at ServiceBot. So today we are going to discuss about our MVP and to demonstrate the current capabilities of the product. If you're going to our navigation bar, you see here MVP, click on it, and a Telegram channel will be open. In the near future we are going to support new channels such as Google, Facebook Messenger, or a dedicated mobile application, or a dedicated web application for RT. So if you click open in web and then you click start, RT will become your friend. And then RT will welcome you with a welcome message. So he says, "Hey Meir Rosilio, my name is RT, you can ask me anything," and so on. So let's say that you said, I want to purchase, buy a smartphone. Now, I trained RT a few minutes ago, so it's supposed to provide you a proper answer, but there is a small bug here, so we'll just repeat it. So basically, you see there is a small bug that it repeats the same welcome message twice, but this will be resolved in the next version. So just sorry for that. So just you ask, I want to buy a smartphone, and then RT says, what is your budget? And you said $1,000. And then RT will say, do you prefer Apple or Android? And of course you prefer Android. And then you search in the database and you choose Galaxy 9, for example. And then RT can accept any credit card. Now it's just for purpose of illustration, but basically we will provide you the ability in the near future to connect a payment system, to set up a payment system within RT, so you don't need to do anything in order to do payment. So you click pay with all the process, what is your credit card number, shipment address, and so on, and then you receive thank you, Meir Rosilio. So this is just for purpose of illustration, and now I want to show what is the difference between RT and Google. So let's say that you will say to Google, I want to purchase a smartphone, right? So basically you are going to receive a lot of results, people that want to sell you smartphones like Best Buy, or guides how to buy smartphone, and so on. And you know how Google basically works, and then you go from even comparison site, it doesn't matter. So you know how this issue works. So, but in this case in RT, you can ask him you can ask him for iPhone. He will do the process end to end, and he may suggest you a few conversations about smartphones, but you will not need to. It will be very intuitive for you to close everything end to end within RT and not going to website. Another issue is that users usually do not see Galaxy 9 and then it's let's say $10,000 or $1,000, and then they pay. It just does not work. Usually what's happened that users are going to compare. They have many questions about the product and your service. for example, what is the returning policy? So usually how you do that in regular websites or e-commerce or whatever, you try to provide information, the critical information in a very like in places where users know where to find it. But it's, you know, that this is a very complex process. You do an A/B testing and so on. In this case, a user will say, "What is your returning policy?" and and then you can provide an answer for him, and we will demonstrate that in a second. You can provide him an answer about your returning policy. So it's a very intuitive way to communicate with any service. So it can be about God, and it can be about purchasing a smartphone or purchasing flight ticket or whatever. Okay, so let's say is that you said find the best PC for me. Now, I didn't train RT to handle this type of questions, and what will happen that RT will answer with the default answer. But what's happened is that behind the scenes we take this data, this input, find me the best PC for me, and send it to our NLP engine. So in our NLP engine, we will create product and purchase PC. Okay, so what we actually did here. So what we did is that the intention, the willing of this user is to purchase a PC, right? So this is what we did, and the user can ask it in different way. For example, I want to purchase a PC, right? And then we will associate that with the same intent, which is product purchase PC. And if you didn't understand that, in a second, after we finish to build the conversation, I will give an example that will emphasize this process. Okay, so let's click validate, and now what we're going to do is to see if the user really know how to handle this type of question. So let's see, find the best PC for me. And no, yeah. So what we see is that the system, the NLP system, engine recognize that this user or this sentence, when users say that, what he actually mean is to purchase a PC, right? Okay, good. Now that we understand that, let's build the conversation. So basically, until this point, what we did is to understand the user input. For example, I want to purchase a smartphone, and we use an NLP engine in order to transform the user input into user intent. This is a marketplace of intents, and you can see that, for example, we have here people that search for purchasing a PC, and they may search it in English or French or whatever, and they search it on, there is 1 million searches per month, okay, for this intent. So anyone can build this conversation. For example, a person that want to sell PCs because they actually the sellers, okay, they have a small shop and they want to sell a PC. It can be an entrepreneur that want to make another income, and so you connect this conversation to Amazon, and just doing like an affiliation program with Amazon. It can be a big company that has a huge database, and they have inventory, and they do the shipping. So it can be actually everyone. Okay, so let's click build, and then let's say that we are going to ask the user, for example, what is your budget? Good. So the user will answer, let's say, $1,000. Okay, so how we will do that? We accept that the user will answer in free text $1,000. The type of the data that we expect to receive is a number, and let's click OK. Now we can save the user input into a variable named budget. Okay, and then let's create a new node. And the new node, what is a node? Node is the next step in the process. And if it's not clear, it will be clear in a second. So let's say that a user, okay, let's call it usage, and let's do that. You're going to ask the user for what you need this PC. Okay, so let's say that you have 3 options, but again you can have more than that. So let's say gaming. Another option is coding. Another option may have, for example, everyday use. Okay. And again, we can save this data into a variable named usage. So as you can see, it's a very simple UI mechanism. So it is just drag and drop and no coding so far. Now let's say that this is the only 2 questions that you want, and let's create a new node called results. And results basically is to create an API call to your database. Okay, and according to the data that the user provide you, the budget and the usage, you want to pull data to query your database, to pull this data and demonstrate it to the end user. And so the way you can demonstrate that, now currently we will not support the API call. In the next version we will support that, but just for purpose of illustration, let's create here search. So now the system search in your database, and then you receive a list of PCs from your database. Let's say Dell, PC by Dell, PC by Philips, okay, by Toshiba. You got it, right? So let's save that in PC model. And the next step that you want to create is payment. Okay, so let's say that you will say, and it's according to your policy, I accept any credit card, and then you create a button pay. Again, we do not support yet to set up a payment system, but the same way you do that, you will be able to configure a payment process. So it's exactly the same, just we are not supporting it yet. Okay, so you will click pay, and this is here. Let's change that to payment. And then after you pay, of course, you want to say thank you to the user, right? So you say thank you user name, you PC model, your PC model, which is Dell computer, cost, you say budget. Okay, this is how we can use the variable within the system. See you soon. Oh, let's finish here. Okay, you click OK and save. Now let's just check that everything is not broken. So user says I want to purchase a PC, and then you will answer what is your budget, and then the user say $1,000, and then you want to send him to the next question, which is usage. So this is the way you connect one question, one node to another node. Okay, so let's save it here, and then click usage, and then you ask him for what you need this PC, and then you want to connect this node to the results node. So basically the user will click here, and that's it. And in the results, let's check that everything is okay. Yeah, so PC model, you want to connect it to payment. PC model, this is what you choose with the PC model, and payment. So payment. Okay, everything is cool. And then from payment, you want to send that to thank you. Okay, everything should work. Let's check that. Let's ask Artie, find me the best PC for me. And Artie says, what is your budget in UCD? And then Artie says, for what you need this PC? For coding. And then we find you Dell. Of course, you will be able to use photos and to demonstrate data in more complex and visualized way. And then you can use the payment. Click pay. And then thank you, Mayor Rosilio. Your Dell computer cost you $1,000. We can add this sign if you want. Okay, so this is very cool, but what if the user says I want to purchase and you also put that. Okay, so in this case, there is a chance that Artie will not know how to answer that, or he may confuse with other sequence. So let's check that. So we are going to go to inbox, and yeah, so he will not recognize it. So I said I want to purchase a PC, and Artie does not know what is the user intent, right? So we can go to product, and we can choose purchase PC. Okay, so we say, or we transform this user input to user intent, purchase PC. So it's very easy and very intuitive. Now we associate the same, and I want to buy a smartphone. This is a mistake that I did before, buy without a, but still we understand the user input in this case, so we can again associate that with another one. Okay, so now we associate that, and let's check that actually Artie knows what we are talking about. So we can go here, say that, and yeah, he knows what we are talking about. Let's check that. He knows what we are talking about. Let's change that. He doesn't know what we are talking about, so we can also associate it here. So we can choose product, and we can choose purchase PC, right? Validate. Let's refresh that just to make sure. Okay, let's do it again. Product, value, purchase PC. That's it. Let's refresh that, and let's just show that if I will say I want to purchase a PC, Artie will know that I want to buy a PC. This is what I want, so he will initiating the sequence that we built. So what is your budget? Okay, we've been in this case already. Yeah, so he also knows now that buy and purchase are the same words in terms of that, right? So let's go here. So we set a 1000, and then he asks for what you need the PC. Let's say gaming. And Artie says search in our database, in our fake database, and then it responds. You can click Dell, and then you can accept credit card. Doing that, and then he will tell you thank you. Okay, so this process will go and go and go, and for example, users usually do not see their computer, right? and then as I said, I want to buy it. So the same process that we did here, we can do in the following example. So let's say that the user says, what is your returning policy? Okay, so you can answer him the exact same way. My returning policy is if you return your computer in the next 7 business days, you will receive a refund. Okay, so in this way you can improve your sequence in iteration. So people use you base sequence, and then they will have will ask you more questions, and then this is the way you improve the questions, the sequence. And the greater your performance here, the higher your compensation. Okay, so let's close that. So if you have any question, you can discuss with us through social media, or you can, for example, discuss with us in here. We use Zendesk for that, or you can ask, discuss with us through email. So just use one of these channels. Of course, you can join to our Telegram, and we will provide you any answers on any question that you have. Thank you very much for your time.